let's hope these connections work. Hello Facebook, how is everybody? Welcome to Feel Good Friday. Fabulous Friday. I've got Fermenting Friday, I've got Fashion Friday, I've got Feel Fabulous Forever Friday, all the F's. And I'm going to be joined by somebody, yes, she has made it today. Ta-da!
Hi everyone!
So,
Hello.
oh Lily, I meant to put my high heels on.
Oh, sorry.
Oh gosh, I'm going to have to stand on tiptoe. That's the trouble with having a daughter who's so beautifully tall. So nice to have her back with me. We obviously spent the whole of lockdown together, and as you who have followed Lil's journey with all her health issues, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that, talking lots about histamine. There's been some really interesting talk about histamine intolerance. We've got a great feature online on Liz Our Wellbeing. My podcast with Dr. Tina Pearce, who's helping Lily. So we're going to talk all about that. So let's get going. I thought that what we'd start with is maybe, should we talk about fashion?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. So just to let you know that I do listen to what you say and I do read your comments. So thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Hi, Facebook. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Linda. Hey, it's your daughter's birthday today.
Oh, congratulations.
And she's taller than you too. Happy birthday to Linda's daughter. So this is, what I'm wearing is a great ethical brand. It's another quick shout out to another female founder-led brand in Britain doing the right thing, sustainable, ethical fashion. And she is called Lisa Taylor. I discovered her on Instagram, and she was a top person working at Warehouse and Karen Millen and all those sort of top British brands. And she connects with women in India, and they upcycle leftover bits of printed fabrics.
Oh, that's clever.
She makes beautiful things out of saris. I mean, do check her out. She's on Instagram, Lisa Taylor. And this, she very kindly sent me this, which I absolutely love. And I thought that you guys would love it, especially because it comes in huge sizes. It just goes... The designs, this is what she designs. When you see her in real life, she's this little beautiful tall string bean, but she makes these really gorgeously cool things. Isn't this lovely?
Yeah.
So for a day like today, when it's so freaking hot outside,
Yeah, great.
and it has pockets.
Oh, I love a dress with pockets.
Dress with pockets.
That's the dream.
And this is actually a size extra small. So extra small is like just beautifully big and floaty, and she goes up, she does small, medium and large, and you know, honestly, they just fit everybody and they work for everybody and they're so easy to wear. And I think, because I did check out her website, I think that if you join her mailing list, she's got a 15% discount on her website. So thank you, Lisa. Love what you're doing. Really happy to give you a shout out, and I hope your brand does really well and supporting the sisterhood globally. Isn't it nice to buy things that kind of put stuff back? And what are you wearing? Tell me about this.
So this is a shirt from Never Fully Dressed, who I also discovered through Instagram. It's a nice long floaty shirt, and it's actually part of a co-ord, so I also have matching shorts.
You are so pink.
I know.
I mean, talk about colour coordinated.
But again, female founder, ethically led, manufactured in the UK and Europe, designed over in East London. And what I really love about this, and with lots of their designs, is you can wear them different ways. So instead of a square collar, this has a rounded collar.
Oh, you could wear it back to front.
You can wear it back to front.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just little details like that.
It's really
multitasking, like so many of us women are in life. So I hope you like our quick shout out to Fashion Friday. Now let's get on with another F, fermenting. Loads of you have been commenting on my gut box, the Good Gut box.
Oh, I get to see it in real life.
In real life, here it is. So it contains 6 really carefully curated ferments. Now last week when I launched it, I showed you how to make the milk kefir, which is super easy. It comes with kefir grains, and kefir is really interesting because although you use milk, it actually, the bacteria digest all the lactose, the lactose sugars, because it needs the sugars to feed on, to grow, to make those lovely beneficial bugs that are so good for us. And so even those who are lactose intolerant can generally have kefir, which is really interesting.
That's great.
So you've got your milk kefir, that's what I did last week, and also the water grain kefir, which is brilliant. You can make it with normal water or you can use coconut water. It's a delicious soft drink for summer, which is very good for just improving our microbiome.
Harry just had some explode all over our kitchen.
Did he? Well, that's
very,
good.
I know, and he was like, oh, it's so annoying, but I know Liz would say it's great because it means it's really active.
That is really true. Once things are fizzing and going, then you know that they're very good. Now, I've just seen Instagram has glitched.
Yeah,
has it gone completely? It's paused due to bad connection. Hopefully we're back. Okay, I think there must be a lot of people around us using the Wi-Fi, using up the bandwidth. So don't forget, we're on 2 platforms, okay? So Instagram, if it's going to be tricky today, if it's going to go down, then please hop over to the Liz Our Wellbeing Facebook page and vice versa. Touch wood, at the moment things are okay, but I can see Instagram is struggling slightly. Let me just scroll up here, so I've got to lean across.
And take it off low power mode.
How do I take it off low power mode?
Because that's what's making it go down.
Is that okay? Thank you. So I'm very pleased to have my technical expert here. Many of you will know that Lily actually started working with me several years ago as my head of digital, because she's so techie and clever like that. She's fiddling about with the settings. Let's hope we don't cut anybody off.
I know.
Can you not cut them off?
I won't cut them off.
How can you do no low power? Paused, but hopefully. Are we there?
We might have to just live with low power.
Maybe we'll have to live with low power mode. Okay, but hopefully you guys will stay with me. Thank you for all your comments. Lovely to see you. Oh, hopefully I'm back. Thank you for all the hearts. I can see that shows that we are live, and I think we're fine, hopefully. But we are on both platforms. And of course, don't forget that we also save this and we will load it up to YouTube a bit later on. So hopefully, if all else fails, you'll get it on YouTube as well. So what else is in the box? So kefir, milk kefir, water-based kefir. You also have your SCOBY. This was something that you may have seen me with on this week. I was with Eamon and Ruth on, I think it was Tuesday morning, persuading Eamon to try kombucha. And I think, if nothing else, he'll be probably having a kombucha martini tonight, because you can actually, of course, take a little bit of your kombucha and you can pop it in a martini glass and have a feel-good Friday fermented cocktail that's also good for your gut. So in addition to the kombucha, the kefir and the water kefir, you also get 3 other things, and 2 of those I'm going to show you today. You get a turmeric bug to make a fermented turmeric drink. I've actually started that already. So I'll show you how to make that. And you get Creme Fraiche. So you can make your own Creme Fraiche, which is just brilliant to use because you can use it in place of cream. You can have it, with berries, with your fruit salads, all of that. And you're getting your probiotic goodness because it's a cultured product. It's a fermented product. Usually you have to buy Creme Fraiche in single-use plastic, which is obviously not great because it's landfill and all of that, even if you recycle them. They obviously stay in the environment. Even when you're recycling plastic, it doesn't kind of magically disappear. It just kind of gets ground down and turned into something else, but it's still there in the chain. So making your own Creme Fraiche is more sustainable, it's more environmentally friendly, and it's much cheaper, because what you do with all your ferments, once you've got your original ferments going, you then save a little bit to make the next lot. So in theory, they go on and on and on forever. So you only ever have to buy 1 box of your starter kits, and that's it, you're set for life. And then last but not least is the yogurt. Lots of questions I know are talking about the yogurt. This is where you have a choice. You can either make the Bulgarian yogurt.
Oh wow.
Bulgarian yogurt is slightly thicker and you need a yogurt maker for it. So you can either buy a yogurt maker or you can make it somewhere warm. You can pop it in an airing cupboard. You could even, if you wanted to, put it into a thermos flask when you've made it to keep the warmth. And that makes quite a nice thick set yogurt. It's almost like a Greek yogurt. It's really good. And then the other option, if you don't want to do that, if you want to make a yogurt using cold milk and no heat at all, then you go for the Scandinavian, which is the Villi yogurt, and this makes a really thin pouring yogurt, so that's very good if you're adding it to smoothies or popping it over granola, anything like that. So those are your choices. Okay, so kombucha, kefir grains, water kefir, yogurt, you've got your turmeric bug, which I'll show you, and the creme fraiche. So should we get started maybe with creme fraiche, because it's super easy. Oh, by the way, in the box you also get, just so you've got everything to get going, you get your organic fair trade sugar.
Oh my gosh.
Wrapped in cardboard. I know. It's all
That's brilliant. You get everything.
You get everything, and you get this. I love this. This is called Blighty Brew tea, nice play on words, and this is an organic loose leaf green tea that you can use to brew up your kombucha.
Lovely.
And you get your recipe cards. The recipe cards, actually, this is a really nice one. This is the chocolate mini bites, and then you've got other recipes here, and all the recipes come from my Good Gut book, so you get your recipe cards as well. And if you don't know it, this is the Good Gut book, which I wrote a couple of years ago, which has loads and loads of gut-friendly recipes in it. So, Creme Fraiche, super easy. I started this last night. You start with a little bit of milk, and you sprinkle in your Creme Fraiche starter culture.
Okay.
So that's all
Never
you've
made
done.
Creme Fraiche before.
Well, do you know, I haven't either, but it's so easy.
Okay.
Well, I have, but after discovering this.
Yes.
But so you see what happens is this was just the milk overnight, and it turns it into a sort of like a thick, creamy paste.
Okay.
So once you've done that, so I did that last night in preparation for today. When you're working with ferments, it's always a good idea, actually, if you can, to use wooden spoons. Ferments don't really like being in touch with metal for too long. A little bit's
No,
fine,
they
but
don't,
not
do
too long. No. Now I'm going to then add to this, I've got some extra rich double cream. This is an organic double cream. Now while I'm doing this, tell us a little bit about your low histamine diet, because there's a lot of stuff that you can and can't have.
Oh yeah, this is, and the ferments is an interesting area on it. Thank you so much for all of your messages and support, those of you who have been following me and cheering me on in, well, I guess, living with chronic migraine and histamine issues. So one of the ways that histamine intolerance is looked after is through diet and keeping low histamine in your diet. And one of the things that's really high in histamine is anything containing bacteria.
So even good gut bugs? Even
good gut bugs, whether they're good or bad. They may be good for my gut, but they will be very high in histamine, and obviously I have a histamine issue.
So you can't be having stuff like this?
No, I can't. I can't at all.
So that raises a really interesting question, because obviously as Lily's mum, I'm very keen that she has lots of good friendly bacteria and good gut bugs. But if I'm no longer able to feed you kefir...
No, you're not. And I'm actually really sad that I can no longer have kefir.
Do you think you will eventually? Is this something that you will...
So yes, once it's under control, I'll be able to have bits of... And it's working out your kind of personal or individual tolerance. Because they think of it as like a bucket. So the amount of histamine that you have in your body, be that through external factors like pollution or stress or food that you've eaten, or, you know, whether or not you get hay fever or, you know, other forms of allergies, depends on how full your bucket is, basically.
And you don't want it to overload.
No, you don't want it to overload, because that's when you get sick.
Okay, and the very interesting connection with histamine and migraine, and this is how we came across it, because obviously Lily's had chronic and acute migraine now pretty much continually for the last 2 years. So we recorded a podcast with an amazing female doctor called Dr. Tina Pears. And honestly, if you think that histamine could be an issue for you, or
it's so fascinating
with migraine, do please take a listen, because many of these unexplained chronic pain issues, so things like fibromyalgia, ME, all these really hard to explain conditions, very often have a histamine connection, and the medics are just beginning to discover it. And Dr. Tina Pears, she's a proper doctor, she's a proper qualified medic. She's based at Chelsea Westminster Hospital, so this is not kind of woo-woo, this is really, really good evidence-based science. So she has put you on this low histamine diet.
Yes.
And now, I want you to talk about good gut bugs in just a second. I'm just going to finish this. So basically, that's all you have to do. To make creme fraiche, you've started with a little bit of milk, and you've sprinkled in your creme fraiche starter culture here that you get in your box.
Very good.
Leave that. The next day you stir in your cream, and I've used thick double cream because I like it to be really thick. And I've got a barbecue later on this weekend, so I'm going to be taking this when this is transferred into, or transformed itself into creme fraiche. I'm going to be serving that up later on.
Overnight, did you leave it in the fridge, or did you leave it on the side?
I left it out. I left it out at room temperature.
Okay, so then the bugs can be more active.
The bugs like to grow. They like a bit of warmth to grow. If you want to stop your ferments, perhaps you're going away on holiday, or you want just to calm them down, perhaps your kefir grains are kind of exploding, then just pop them in the fridge, because that will just kind of send them to sleep. And then when you want to reactivate them, you bring them out into room temperature. So I'm going to leave this to ferment and do its magic, and then I will have a large amount of delicious homemade creme fraiche. And then
brilliant.
I will save some. Don't forget, don't scoff it all. Don't forget to save a little bit, and then you repeat the process and you just keep going with it. So magic. Now, you, my darling, you need to have good gut bugs.
I do, yes.
So how are we going to get you good gut bugs without having fermented foods?
Well, unfortunately, because you can't have fermented foods, the only way to do it is to supplement.
Okay. And there are certain supplements, so you can't take general probiotics,
No,
can
because
you?
most of them will have histamine in them.
Okay.
So there's a couple that have been specially formulated for histamine that Dr. Pierce put me onto. So this one is from Seeking Health Probiotica Histamine X.
Okay, so this is online. We have a link actually. So if you go to lizarwellbeing.com, you'll see there's a whole article on understanding histamine intolerance. It's well worth a read. And we've got links there to these specific supplements that are safe to give you the beneficial good gut bugs despite having an issue with migraine or having an issue with histamine.
Yeah.
Clever. So that one is Probiotica Histamine X.
Yeah, and that has
so that's obviously
10 billion cultures.
Yeah. And what's that one?
This one is OptiBac.
I like OptiBac. That's a good range actually.
Yeah.
I take a lot.
So
of
this is the one
OptiBac.
that I'm actually taking at the moment. This one I have to keep in my fridge as extra.
Okay.
But this is the one that Dr. Pierce has specifically put me on. And
that's 5 billion.
That's 5 billion.
Good.
And then Simprove is the other one.
Yeah, so
which
that's
is
the
a liquid one, which is really good and brilliant. But for me personally, I prefer taking a capsule than drinking this.
Okay. What I like about Simprove actually is you can start it as a course. So you can have it as perhaps your initial baseline to get your good gut
Which is
health.
what I did.
Yeah, I remember when you were really, really sick, that's what you started with. And then you can just keep going with your supplements.
Exactly.
So, you know me, I'm not one to kind of push supplements all the time because I prefer to get all the goodness that we have from our natural diet, eating local foods, seasonal goodness, cooking from scratch, all of that. But there are some specific cases and specific things like the saffron that I've talked about before, the crocus extract for anxiety. Instagram keeps needing a little prod. Hopefully you're all okay on there. So, you know, there are a few exceptions, and obviously on a sunny day like today, being outside, synthesising a lot of vitamin D through the skin is really helpful. But the British government do say that everybody should be having a vitamin D supplement. Also really important to help support the immune system. People who have worse outcomes of COVID-19 were shown to have lower levels of vitamin D. So make sure, you know, if you're not able to get outside and enjoy much sunshine, or certainly as we move into the winter months, that you are topping up your vitamin D as well. So I've made my creme fraiche. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is the turmeric bug.
Now, I've refrained from asking you about it because I've never heard of a turmeric bug until this moment, so you could genuinely tell me about it.
Okay, so I'm genuinely going to tell you about my turmeric bug. So unfortunately you can't see what it looks like because it comes in a little packet like this, and it looks like a little brick of solid turmeric. So this is just the normal kind of turmeric powder. So it looks like a little bar of turmeric.
Oh, interesting.
But it's fermented, so it's grown as a culture, and that's what you get in your box to start you off with. So last night I put that into a jar, and this has got in it water, the turmeric bug, and a load of sugar. Now don't panic about the sugar, because the sugar is what feeds the good gut bugs. So it needs the sugar to grow, and then by the time this is ready, it'll take about 10 days. It's a bit like a ginger beer plant. I don't know if you've ever done that in the past, but where you feed, or a bit like sourdough, you feed it every day with a little bit more sugar so it grows, and then by the end of the fermentation period, you will end up with this really delicious drink, and the good bacteria will have munched up the majority of the sugar. So it's actually a low sugar soft drink. It's a very good alternative to buying fizzy drinks or even juices, fruit juice, which is always packed with sugar as well, even natural juices. So this basically, I've started off, so I had 300 mils of water, I added 20 grams of sugar. By the way, when you get the box, you just download all the instructions, so it's all there. You don't need to worry about writing it down now. You have extra turmeric powder that you put in, and your turmeric bug, and you stir, and you leave it. And then within a day or so, I don't know if I've quite left this long enough, but you see it will start to bubble and fizz, and you want that activity. So you can see there's just a little bit of kind of fizziness going on here in the jar. And there, what you do for the next 7 days, so for the next week, you feed it, and you feed it with 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I'll just grab a teaspoon.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like feeding your pet. You feed it with 2 teaspoons of sugar going into your liquid and another teaspoon of turmeric powder. So you're basically all the time feeding it sugar and turmeric so it grows. So this is not an exact science, that's about a teaspoon. There we go, tip that in. And then I'm going to stir that. I'm going to use a wooden spoon just to stir that. So that is basically job done for now, and you keep doing that little routine every day for 7 days, and this is growing your turmeric bug drink. And then what you do is you then you strain it, and then you have 3 litres of water. So you're then going to make this is a bit like a kind of concentrated cordial, because then you'll add more water and the juice of 2 lemons. So I've got my 2 beautiful lemons here. I'm not going to do it now because it's obviously not ready for it. Aren't they beautiful lemons?
Yeah,
I love the lemons with the stalk. Always reminds me of being in Amalfi or somewhere
yes,
where
exactly.
you get the lemons growing on the tree. And then some peppercorns, some crushed peppercorns. I've got pink ones here. And do you know why you have peppercorns with turmeric?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It makes it more bioavailable for your
It does.
body.
Top marks.
Thanks.
You see, she listens.
I do.
She does listen sometimes. Yes, so if you're having turmeric, it's always really good to add in a little bit of ground black pepper. So if you're making a turmeric chai latte, for example, so you've got your milk or your coconut milk, whatever you're using, a little bit of turmeric, little squeeze of lemon if you want to flavour it, twist of black pepper to create the bioavailability. You can sweeten it with a little bit of honey if you fancy, and there you go. So always don't forget that you need a little bit of black pepper with your turmeric. So this, I can't wait to drink it, but we're going to have to wait a week because you need that time for it to grow and to ferment. So I'm going to pop that back in my box. So you will find everything about that on lizearlewellbeing.com.
Very good.
And don't forget that you then basically just go online to download all the details. So, for example, we've got here, this is the instructions of how to make milk kefir, how to make your kombucha, your water kefir, your creme fraiche, your turmeric bugs, and all the rest of it. So let's hop on to my Google Docs here and just see what is going on. Hi Lou, thank you for manning Facebook so well. Amy's been off this week, so most of my team obviously are working from home, but the great thing is that we can connect remotely and all be together. So let me just see if I can get onto this. I always forget my password. I have to just keep changing my password because your youngest brother is a demon for getting hold of my iPad when he shouldn't be, and downloading, I don't know, whatever he's doing, Roblox or Minecraft or something. Can you get that back on? Pause due to poor connection.
There we go.
Now it's reconnecting. Hi, thank you for bearing with us. Sorry that we keep coming off and on. Right, these are some questions that are coming in from you now. This is from Caroline on Facebook. Hi there, says, hi, love the magazine, enjoy reading. Sitting quietly with great information, would hate not to have it. Oh, thank you. Just on that point, give Instagram a nudge. Just on that point, when you say you'd hate not to have it, I seriously hope that you are subscribed, because as I explained earlier, we are coming out of retail. So, I don't know where it is, here's my current edition. This issue, which hopefully you have, is the last one that will be in the shops. So we are still going to print, so don't panic, but it will be subscription only. So if you want it, you're going to have to subscribe. There's a very good offer at the moment. You get 6 issues for the price of 5. You get free UK P&P. Yes, we will post it abroad. You just pay that little bit extra for whatever the postage is. And at the moment, while stocks last, you get your free £10 Neal's Yard voucher.
Oh, marvellous.
We love Neal's Yard.
We do.
So you can buy your essential oils, you can buy that lovely wild rose collection that we were talking about earlier. So, but we only have a limited number of those. So if you want that at the moment. But more importantly, perhaps, is we are only going to print for the subscribers. So that means that when we've pressed the button, and it will be in the next kind of week or so to print the next issue, which will come out at the beginning of September, which is looking beautiful, by the way. I've got my final proofs on my laptop.
Brilliant.
I'm so excited. It's such a good read. But we are only going to print, rather than having to print all those extra tens of thousands of copies that end up being pulped by retailers because they stockpile and they sit on them, and it's really very difficult. It's a very unsustainable thing to manage, actually. It's not environmentally very sound. So we are just going to print for the subscribers. So, you've got to be subscribed to get it, because otherwise you'll get a message back from us saying, that's lovely, we're thrilled that you've subscribed, but you're going to have to wait till, what will it be, November?
Yeah, the issue after.
Yeah, the issue after, because we're bi-monthly, so the next one will be September, October. So please don't miss out, because we will be having the cut-off quite soon for that. So that was a comment from Caroline. This is from Andrea on Instagram saying, hi Liz, enjoyed your live today. Since I started back at work in June, I've not been able to join in much, and so I was so pleased to be with you today. Thank you for all that you do. Well, I hope that you also watch on Catch Up, because I do save it. All my lives are saved to Instagram TV, which is that little square icon in the middle of the screen. This is from Kizzy on Insta saying, hi Liz, in bed, I think this was last night you left this message, in bed feeling wide awake, ran out of my slumber drops. That's probably why you're wide awake, Kizzy. However, second bottle on order, just looking at my phone. Oops, very naughty. Yes, don't do that. No phones after 9 o'clock. It's that blue light that interferes with our pituitary gland and stops us sleeping. Watching your video again, so informative. Can you tell me what shade you're wearing on your lips? Looks so pretty and natural. So that was the Beauty Pie lipstick, which I'm just living in at the moment, and it's called Something Nude. It was a play on words, naturally nude or something like that. There's a link anyway on Linktree, or I'm sure Lou, you're so clever, on Facebook. I'm sure you will find it. If you are not a member of Beauty Pie, don't forget, put Liz Loves in your checkout code, and then you get a month's free subscription. So I love all this free stuff. It's nice being able to share it with you. So Liz Loves gets you access, all sorts of things. This is from Tina on Insta. Love your Instagram lives, Liv, have kept me sane over these past few months. Here's to better times, better health, and better year 2021. Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Who is going to echo that? Let's, 2020, 2021, whoop, 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 that is where it's going to be. I can't believe we posted that together.
I know, we did. That wasn't planned at all.
Yes, let's out with the old, in with the new. But do you know, there is still hope. I was just looking actually at the cover of our current magazine, for those of you who've got it, and this is what it's all about. It's be calm, happy and healthy. I know it comes out backwards on my screen, but calm is what I always say. Take a deep breath. Do you need to sit up straight? Unhook your shoulders. That's it. Just kind of give your spine a little wiggle. And be happy, be healthy. Think positive thoughts, positive vibes. I was actually recording earlier my Friday 5 podcast. Those of you who are into podcasts will know that I do a little quick kind of 10-15 minute Friday 5 every Friday afternoon. And I was trying to pack a lot of positivity into that, because I think there's so much out there that is negative. And I've got a new series of the podcast starting next week, and my first guest is Ruby Wax. And Lily actually recorded that with me, because obviously she and her husband Harry are Heart Dialogue, who do our lovely podcast recordings. And she was just amazing. She's written this new book about focusing on the good times. And when I asked her about social media and apps and news, and she said, I disconnected myself a long time ago.
Yeah.
You just unplug. There's this toxic stream of negativity and panic. I heard an expression the other day, and it described it as panic porn. And it just seems to be like that. That it's, if you think about it in that way, it's this kind of online addiction that we have to go back and kind of reinforce these negative attributes. And yes, of course, there's lots of bad news, but there's also lots of great news, and there's also hope. There really is hope. And in my podcast, I talk about a couple of the medics that I follow, people like Professor Carol Sikora, who's known as the Positive Professor, because again, he's very evidence-based. He's a senior oncologist, cancer surgeon, and very well respected, plugged into the government, at top level. And he just says, look, there is hope, and there is good outcomes coming. So let's just all hold that thought, hold that positivity, please, for the weekend and the week ahead. This is from Amanda, question about the Good Gut Box, saying, I've been watching Liz's Friday 5, the live stream about her new fermented food box. I already have milk kefir grains. I'm wondering if I can mix them with the new ones in the box, is there any benefit or adverse effects to doing that? That's a really good question, Amanda. Yes, so my philosophy is always to have as many different varieties of good bacteria as possible, because it's not an exact science. You know, we don't yet know. I can't tell you, yes, if you go to lactobacillus, that's going to help with, you know, migraine, or probably not migraine, but, you know, one of those particular issues that you want, like sleep, or helping to keep us slim, or all of those things. We know that certain strains do have certain attributes. So Akkermansia, for example, is one of the ones that does help to keep us slim. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. This is a naughty little doggy. This is Botanical Baz. It's Basil, the Wellbeing Wonder Dog,
Yes.
who went for a groom. Do you see how beautifully shorn she is?
She is. She's just had a haircut.
So she went, and you put a picture on your Instagram, and she'd gone, and she was all beautifully groomed and cleaned and washed. And what was the first thing you did?
We rolled in the mud.
Yes.
We went to the park as a treat because she hates the groomers, poor thing.
Oh.
And it's on the same road as the park.
So she thinks she's going to the park.
she got all excited and then had to be dragged into the groomers.
Poor baby. What was your fur mama doing to you?
So then we went to the park afterwards as a treat, and she rolled in the mud.
She got her revenge,
She
basically.
did.
She said, "Ha! Think that I want to be groomed and smart and clean? No, I will show you."
But you do, because I mean, her hair was so long, and now she...
Well, and presumably she's so hot. And
Yes,
actually you can see her
exactly.
spots now.
Yes, you can. She looks like part Dalmatian.
She does. Gorgeous. Botanical Baz, who does actually have her own Instagram account as well, if you want to follow the antics of
The
Botanical
dog doesn't
Baz.
exist until it's on Instagram.
So in answer to your question, Amanda, sorry to come back, this sidetracked there with Botanical Baz. Yes, what I would do is I would mix them together. And in fact, what I often do, if I haven't made my own kefir, I will go and buy 2 or 3 different brands from the supermarket, and I'll mix them together. So I will put, you know, a bit of this and a bit of that, because they all contain different bacteria, different bugs in different strains, and you just want to populate your microbiome with as many different varieties as you can. So that's kind of the advice, really. So yeah, why not mix them up, because the bugs that will be in my milk kefir are quite likely to be different from the ones that you've got already. Question from Claire on Facebook: how would you add the different flavours to the kombucha? Good question. So you can either drink kombucha neat like this. You can buy kombucha if you don't want to make your own. We've got links to various brands. There's another really nice female founder-led brand called Holos, and it was started by 5 women in London. And what I particularly like about them, 2 things. One is it's real kombucha, so it's made with the real scobies. And the second is that they support women who have been victims of modern day slavery, human trafficking, and they are an amazing social justice, social impact brand. So Holos Kombucha, we heart you. Well done for everything that you're doing. And they've even given us a discount as well, which is even better. So Liz loves on Holos Kombucha, and you get a discount on their subscription box, and they deliver, I think it's 12 lovely bottles every month, and they're flavoured, so they have ginger and hibiscus, lemon, all sorts of different varieties. So if you want to flavour your own, it's super easy to do. You can, in a kombucha SCOBY takes about 10 days to ferment. So in the last few days of its fermentation, then you add your flavouring.
Oh, okay.
So you could add some sliced fresh ginger to give it a gingery tang. You could add some crushed raspberries, blueberries, bit of lemon.
Very nice.
You know, if you wanted to do a hibiscus flavour, you could make hibiscus tea. You can buy those really lovely dried hibiscus flower petals, brew a little bit of tea, wait till it's cooled down because you don't want to burn your SCOBY, but then you could add that to flavour it. So, or you could do what I'm going to do tonight. Guess what I'm going to do tonight?
Add some vodka to it.
I might have just a very cheeky little...
Very cheeky.
Just a little cheeky Friday martini. Which is great because, you know, vodka is a very pure spirit. So it's, you know, least likely to give you a hangover, obviously in moderation. And you are getting your good gut bugs at the same time, so you can feel, you know, polishing halo, slightly virtuous. Instagram is still there.
Yeah.
Oh, Tanya, you're talking about anxiety. Okay, so a couple of things for anxiety, which I know we've written about quite a lot. One is the saffrosun. I do hope you heard my podcast with the founder of the Naked Pharmacy, an amazing pharmacist. He
really
started,
story.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Love
really
him,
inspiring.
Kevin. He started life as a conventional pharmacist, working on brands like ibuprofen and working with inflammation, with conventional medicine, and then switched onto plant-based, and he has created the Naked Pharmacy, and one of his products in particular is made of crocus extract. Sounds a bit weird, but it really works. They've done randomised controlled trials, RCTs, which are like the gold standard of evidence-based medicine, showing that it can really help reduce anxiety and also help to ease people off antidepressants, obviously in conjunction with advice from your doctor, but really worth having a look at. So if nobody has checked that out yet, do please take a look. You can go onto their website, I think they're nakedpharmacy.com, and Liz Loves 20, it's a slightly different code for that one, Liz Loves 20 gets you 20% off everything. And for the Saffron, I personally take it, and there's also a children's version, which you'll have seen at home, and that's the one that Lil's little brother, who is 10, I also give him, and it just sort of takes the edge off things, if you know what I mean. So I seriously wouldn't be without that. So, and also I think Life Armour, who do the slumber drops that we were talking about earlier for sleep, they also have a very good one on balance, and that contains the Indian Ayurvedic herb called ashwagandha.
Oh yes.
And ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb that can just really help to calm and balance and just make you feel a little bit more in control, which I think is helpful at the moment when so much of what's around us is not in control. So last question here from Anne on Facebook. Hi Liz, I've just started Bimuno. Following your advice, I'm on day 4. What should I be experiencing at this point? Should I continue taking it? Yeah, so Bimuno,
love Bimuno.
It's great, isn't it? And again, you can have Bimuno, can't you?
Yes, I think I can.
You can. Yeah,
yes.
I think it's on your accepted list for histamine.
Yes, it is.
It's different. Bimuno is a prebiotic. So when we're talking about gut health, you've got these two things that you can have. You can have probiotics, which are all your good gut bugs. So they're all the things I've talked about today. You know, there's your starter cultures in your box, you've got your kombucha, your kefir, your yogurts, your sauerkrauts, your kimchis, all of those contain probiotics, so lots and lots of good gut bugs. Bimuno, or Bimino, I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it, is a prebiotic, and that's not a spelling mistake. When you see that online, you think, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Prebiotic is different, and as the name suggests, it's the precursor, if you like, to good probiotics, and it's basically the food that feeds your good gut bugs. So, yum, 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 exactly. So munch it all up. So once you've got your good gut bugs in your gut, either through drinking or eating live fermented foods or taking your probiotics or whatever, you want them to flourish, you know, you want them to grow and support them. So you do that by feeding them with a prebiotic. Now you get prebiotics in resistant starch and in insoluble fibre, so that's eating things like chicory and asparagus and artichokes.
Oh, yes.
All those slightly tricky to digest veggies are actually full of prebiotic fibre. And actually veggies in general are good for feeding our good gut bugs. You want lots of diversity, eat lots of different.
Keeps everything moving.
Does keep it all moving. Is that why you're jiggling about?
Well, yeah,
So
it keeps it moving.
Keeps it all moving.
Still your intestines.
And Bimino contains a special form of prebiotic, so it's like food. You know, in the old days, I don't know if they still make it, you used to be able to get this thing called baby bio that you fed to plants. And it was like a tomato food, and you kind of dose your plants with it and they kind of flourish. So it's a bit like that. You know, you can think of it as kind of baby bio for your microbiome, feeding it. So you won't necessarily see an overnight difference. You should in time feel that your gut is calm and happy, and that you get all the benefits of having good bacterial bugs in your microbiome. So that includes things like sleeping better, improved mood. We know that we make at least 70% of our serotonin, which is our happy hormone in the brain that makes us feel happy and joyful. We make that in the gut. So once you start to have all these great good gut bugs in your gut, you're going to start to feel happier. You're going to start to sleep better. Anxiety levels will be reduced. You may well find that you just automatically lose weight because there are lots of other pathways that your good gut bugs help to control insulin and metabolism and all of those things. Plus your immune system is stronger. I think there was a letter that went to the government back in May that was signed by 120 top good gut medics, gut medics, saying to the government, please will you put money into research for COVID, because we know that people that have better gut health have better outcomes.
Wow.
So for all these reasons, I really implore you, if you haven't yet started looking at what you can do for your gut, it's one of those things that's so simple and so easy and so effective, and it's evidence-based.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it particularly is it's about adding stuff in.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have
what
to
you always say.
give up stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard when you've got a condition like Lily and you are having to give things up. But what I love most of all is adding little bits of the good stuff in. So I think that's just about all we've got time for today.
Yeah.
Just to say quickly for Monday, Monday I'm going to be cooking back in my kitchen, hopefully all being well, down on the farm. And I'm going to cook some summer recipes. And for those of you who've got your back issues, I'm going to be using these 2 editions, just so that you can get them ready. This is the July-August magazine from last year. And there's some really brilliant recipes in that. This is an amazing gut-friendly veggie recipe, so I'm going to be cooking that one up. And then also this one
is May-June.
May-June of last year.
Yeah.
This has got some brilliant cake recipes in it, by the way. I love this. This is Earl Grey and citrus spelt loaf cake.
Oh, wow.
Does that look good? And this one, I quite like to make that this weekend, actually. Almond and cherry Bakewell slices.
Mm-hmm.
But they do also, in this particular issue, we also have a raspberry kombucha compote. Yes, you can make jam with kombucha.
No way.
You can. So, hopefully you've got these from last year. If you haven't got them, I will give you a little trick of how you can get them free. Okay? We do love free things.
We do.
So this is, Lou, I know that you'll pop a link to Readly on Facebook, and there's a link to Readly on Instagram on my little bio. If you click that blue Linktree link, you'll find all these links I'm talking about afterwards. So if you click on Readly, Readly is a magazine subscription service that's online. Mm-hmm. We've recently joined it, so all the Liz Earle Wellbeing magazines are on there. Normally it's $7.99 a month, and that gives you access not only to Liz Earle Wellbeing, but it gives you access to about 10,000 other magazines, literally. So everything you want to read, Good Housekeeping, Hello,
so good.
Gardener's World, I mean everything. Knitters Monthly, I know you've been downloading patterns and things, haven't you? And it's completely free. Once you have got your monthly subscription, you can download anything you like. So you can share it with your family if you've got, kids who are into sport, Rugby World or golfing mags or, whatever it is. And if you use our link, you get the first month completely free. It's a bit like the Beauty Pie offer. You get the first month free just by clicking the link. But even better, they give you a free month whether or not you cancel. So if you want to just have a month of free magazines and you don't want to sign up beyond that, you literally just click it. When you go to checkout, it'll say, $7.99 a month or whatever. You just click through and then it'll say, and we give you your month free. But after the month is up, you can cancel it if that's what you'd like to do. But I don't think you will, because I've got it now on my phone. And, as many of you know, I was in Italy a couple of weeks ago and I didn't take anything with me. I had my iPad and I just scrolled. I was reading American Vogue. There's Women's, what's it called? Women's World, is it, in Australia, that has lots of great recipes. It's just really good. And even better, sorry, why I'm mentioning it here in relation to Monday, get so carried away because I think it's such a good thing, is that you get back issues. So if you haven't got these magazines from last year and you'd like to get the recipes from last year, hop onto Readly, because you can then go onto the Liz Earle Wellbeing magazine page and it'll come up with all the back issues. So you can catch up with all the issues that you might not have seen before. So really good, free recipes. Anyway,
Excellent.
That's what I will be doing on Monday. Possibly without you, but thank you for being with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks so much. I got to stand on tiptoe, otherwise I feel. Can you just bend a bit? That's it. Lovely.
There we go.
And just for those of you who joined late, this is Lisa Taylor, her ethical fashion brand. I know she's only got a very few of these left in stock, but they are lovely, and I'm going to be wearing mine this weekend and just sort of floating about in the sun. I hope that you get to float about in the sun wherever you are. Thank you very much for all your lovely comments. Thank you for your hearts. We love you. Thank you for being with us. Have a great weekend. Have a great week ahead.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Friday 5 is available to download later. Also, if you haven't signed up to the newsletter, the Liz Earle Wellbeing newsletter comes out at 4 o'clock every Friday. So you need to make sure that your name is on the list by 2 minutes to 4. Otherwise you won't get it, okay? Anyway, I hope you love it, and we send you lots of love.